You walk into the casino, the air smells like filtered oxygen and ambition, and the symphony of 1,000 electronic winds fills your ears. You see a machine flashing bright neon. It looks hot. You sit down, feed it $100 bill, and 20 minutes later, it's gone. Behind the tinted glass of the surveillance room, a former floor manager is watching you. They aren't surprised. In fact, they knew exactly how this would end the moment you chose that specific chair. Most players think slots are a game of pure luck, but there's a darker architecture at play. There are machines designed specifically to look inviting while being mathematically programmed to be the black holes of the floor. Today, we're going behind the employee-only doors. I am going to show you the specific machines that ex-employees wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. We re-stripping away the flashing lights to reveal the math that's designed to keep you broke. If you want to stop being the house's favorite customer, pay close attention. 1. The entrance barker traps, almost equals 200 words. This explores the psychology of the entrance barker machines. These are the high-definition, loud, and visually stunning slots placed right at the front doors. Former floor staff explained that these machines are the eye candy meant to drain your enthusiasm budget before you even reach the heart of the floor. We discussed the logic of traffic flow and why the house places its lowest RTP. Return to player. Units in the highest traffic areas. That concludes with a story about a shouter machine that drew crowds but never paid out more than a 75% return. Walk past the first 3 rows of any entrance before even looking at a pay table. 2. The high price of branding. As you head deeper into the floor, you'll see them. Those famous movie stars, superheroes, and game show hosts grinning at you from massive, high-definition screens. Whether it's the Avengers, Game of Thrones, or the classic Wheel of Fortune, these machines are designed to trigger a sense of familiarity and trust. But a slot technician once told me something that completely changed how I look at these units. He called it the licensing tax. You see, the casino doesn't get to use those Hollywood characters for free. They have to pay massive royalties and a percentage of the coin in, back to the movie studios and celebrities. Where do you think that money comes from? It doesn't come out of the casino's steakhouse budget. It comes directly out of the machine's return to player percentage. Because the overhead on these machines is so high, they are mathematically programmed to be some of the tightest on the floor. You might get a fancy animation of a dragon breathing fire when you win $5, but that animation is often there to distract you from the fact that your bankroll is bleeding out faster than it would on a boring, generic machine. I've seen players spend hours chasing a bonus just to see a 10-second clip from their favorite movie only to realize they spent $300 for a show they could have watched on Netflix for $10. If you see a famous face or a blockbuster movie logo on the glass, expect a significantly smaller return. The more famous the brand, the more expensive the seat. Have you ever noticed that your money seems to disappear faster on branded slots? But branding isn't the only way the house hides a high edge. Next, we're looking at the penny slot paradox and why playing small might be your biggest mistake. 3. The penny slot paradox. The word penny sounds safe, doesn't it? It feels like a low-stakes way to enjoy the atmosphere without risking your mortgage. But behind the scenes, ex-casino employees know that penny slots are actually the grinders of the industry. In terms of pure house edge, penny machines are almost always the most aggressive. While a $5 machine might have a household of 5 or 6%, a penny machine can easily be set to hold 12 to 15%. You aren't playing against luck. You're playing against a much steeper mathematical hill. The trap is in the volume. Most modern penny slots have a minimum bet that is actually 50 cents, 88 cents, or even a couple of dollars if you want to be eligible for the jackpots. I once watched a woman feed $20 bills into a penny machine for an hour. She thought she was being frugal, but because she was spinning every 3 seconds on a high-hold machine, she lost her money faster than the guy playing $25 hands at the blackjack table. The lights are programmed to be hyper-stimulating to keep you in that low-stakes trance while the machine quietly eats your balance. Always check the min bet and the pay table. If your penny slot requires a $2 bet to win anything meaningful, you're better off playing a dollar-denomination machine with a lower house edge. Speaking of chasing big wins, have you ever seen a machine that says it must hit by a certain amount? It looks like a guaranteed win, but here is what the floor staff won't tell you. 4. The illusion of must-hit jackpots. You walking through the aisles and you see a sign flashing. Jackpot must hit by $500. The current total is sitting at $498. It feels like a mathematical certainty, a gift from the gambling gods. You think, if I just sit here long enough, I'm guaranteed that prize. Casino workers call these engagement hooks. They aren't designed to give you money. They are designed to force you into a high-burn chase that you can't walk away from. Here's the hidden truth. As the jackpot approaches that must-hit limit, the machine often tightens up its base game payouts to compensate for the upcoming loss. You might spend $200 in a frantic race to win a $500 jackpot, only to realize the machine took more from you in dead spins than it gave back in the prize. I've seen players get into literal arguments over who gets the seat on a must-hit machine, not realizing that the house is the only one guaranteed to win during that high-pressure period. It turns a game of leisure into a game of desperation. Only play a must-hit machine if the jackpot is within 1% of the limit and you were already planning to play that specific game. Never start a chase from far away. The math is not on your side. But what if everyone on the internet says a machine is hot? Next, we have to talk about the social media sensation machines that have become the new favorite trap for the digital age. 5. The social media sensation machines. We've all seen the videos. A slot tuber sits down at a specific machine, bets big, and hits a hand pay within minutes. Suddenly, that specific game becomes the most popular unit in every casino in the country. Players line up to try their luck on the famous machine. But a former slot technician once explained to me that casinos are masters of the clone strategy. They see which games are trending on social media, and they place dozens of them on the floor, but they are all programmed the same way. The house can have 10 identical-looking machines with 10 different payout settings. The one you saw on YouTube might have been a volatile glory unit set to a high return to generate buzz, but the one you're sitting at could be a high-hold version tucked near a restroom. Furthermore, those videos are edited. You see the 10 minutes of winning, but you don't see the 6 hours of losing that came before it. Chasing a viral machine is a psychological trap that relies on your fear of missing out. Don't choose a machine based on a video you saw online. Every machine is an independent event. If you don't see a win within the first 10 to 15 spins, get up and move. The internet fame doesn't change the RNG. You also need to look at where the machine is sitting. Have you ever noticed the slots right at the end of the rows near the main walkways? They have a specific purpose, and it's not to make you rich. 6. The walkway guzzlers. There is an old myth in the casino world that the machines on the end caps, the ones facing the main walkways, are kept loose to attract people with the sound of winning. While that might have been true in the 1980s, modern casino floor design has flipped the script. Today, ex-employees reveal that these high-visibility spots are often reserved for fast-play machines. These are high-volatility units designed for the impulse player. The goal is turnover. The casino knows that people walking by might only have 5 minutes before their dinner reservation or their show starts. They want a machine that will accept $20 and process it as quickly as possible. These machines often have very fast reel spin speeds and minimal bonus animations. They are designed to guzzle your credits and get you back into the walkway so the next person can sit down. I once watched a row of end cap machines go through 50 different players in a single afternoon. Not one of them stayed for more than 10 minutes. Avoid the end caps. Instead, look for the machines tucked away in the boring corners or the middle of long rows. These low-traffic areas are often where the house puts its more consistent, slower-playing units. If you're looking for variety, you might be tempted by those multi-game terminals that offer 50 different slots in one screen. But convenience comes at a very steep price. 7. The multi-game terminal trap. It looks like the ultimate convenience. One seat, one screen, and access to every game the casino offers. These multi-game terminals are taking over casino floors because they save space. But from a mathematical perspective, they are often a black hole. Ex-technicians explain that the software overhead to run dozens of different games on a single motherboard is expensive. To maintain the profit margin, the casino often sets the return to player, RTP, to the lowest common denominator. On a standalone unit, you might get a 92% return. On a multi-game terminal, that same game might be set to 88% because the casino is charging you a convenience fee for not having to walk 10 feet to a different machine. I've noticed that players on these terminals tend to hop from game to game when they feel a machine is cold. which is exactly what the house wants. Every time you switch games, you're resetting your psychological clock and staying in that seat longer. If you have a favorite game, find the standalone version of it. Standalone machines usually have better hardware-specific programming and, more often than not, a better payout percentage than the multi-game versions. And while we're talking about hardware, we have to address the giant screen tax. If a machine looks like a spaceship, it's probably designed to take you for a ride. 8. The giant screen maintenance tax. The modern casino floor looks more like a high-end arcade than a gambling hall. We have massive, 80-inch curved 4K screens, 4D immersive sound, and seats that vibrate with every spin. They are beautiful, but they are also incredibly expensive for the casino to purchase and maintain. Because the initial investment is so high, the casino has a much higher quota for that machine. They need it to pay for itself as quickly as possible. This means these flashy, high-tech units are often the first ones to have their hold percentages dialed up. You're paying for the experience of the big screen and the vibrating chair, but that experience is being funded by your losses. I once saw a group of tourists laughing and high-fiving at a giant Lord of the Rings machine, totally unaware that they were losing money twice as fast as the old man playing the simple, flat-screen machine behind them. The simpler the machine looks, the more likely it is to treat your bankroll with respect. If the machine looks like it cost more than a luxury car, you can bet the payouts are designed to cover that bill. But wait, could a machine be due for a win if it hasn't hit in a while? This is the most dangerous myth on the floor, and ex-employees see people fall for it every single day. 9. The myth of the hot and cold machine. You see a player get up after losing $500 on a machine. You think that machine is due. It has to pay out soon. This is known as the gambler's fallacy, and it is the casino's favorite way to keep you in a seat. Every ex-employee will tell you the same thing. The RNG, random number generator, inside that machine has no memory. It doesn't know if the last spin was a jackpot or a loss. It doesn't know if you've been sitting there for 5 minutes or 5 hours. Each spin is an independent mathematical event. A machine could hit 3 jackpots in a row or go 10,000 spins without a single win. Chasing a cold machine is a guaranteed way to lose your bankroll because you re-betting on a rebound that isn't programmed to happen. I've watched players stay at a machine until they were literally out of money, convinced that the next spin had to be the one. It never is. Forget the terms hot and cold. If a machine isn't giving you small wins to keep your balance alive after 10 spins, move on. The machine doesn't owe you anything, and your revenge will only cost you more. Lately, casinos have introduced skill-based games that look like video games. They want you to think your quick reflexes can beat the house, but the reality is much more scripted. 10 skill-based slants. It looks like Space Invaders or a first-person shooter. The sign says, your skill determines your win. It's a brilliant way to attract a younger generation that grew up on Xbox. But former game developers have revealed the skill illusion. While your performance might affect a tiny portion of the payout, the vast majority of the return is still governed by a predetermined math model. If you're a pro-level gamer, you might increase the RTP from 88% to 90%, but the house still has a massive 10% edge. The skill elements are often just fancy wrappers for the same old random number generators. You feel like you're in control, which makes you more likely to bet more and play longer. I've seen gamers get frustrated because they missed a shot in the bonus round, thinking it cost them a jackpot. In reality, the machine had already decided the outcome before the bonus even started. Play video games at home for fun, play slots for the math. If you want a game where skill actually matters, head to the poker room or the blackjack table. Don't let the arcade graphics fool you into thinking you've beaten the system. Now, let's talk about the fastest way to lose $1,000, the bonus buy feature. It's the ultimate never play button for anyone who wants their session to last. 11. The bonus buy black hole. Why wait for 3 scatter symbols when you can just pay $100 and jump straight to the action? The bonus buy button is the most dangerous innovation in modern slots. It appeals to our desire for instant gratification, but statistically, it is a black hole for your bankroll. When you buy a bonus, you are paying a massive premium for a high volatility event. Ex-employees call this the fast forward to broke button. I once watched a guy buy 5 consecutive bonuses at $200 each. The entire session lasted exactly 4 minutes. He didn't get to enjoy the atmosphere, the drinks, or the gameplay. He just handed $1,000 to the house in exchange for a few minutes of flashing lights. Most bot bonuses return significantly less than what you paid for them. It's a shortcut that almost always leads to a dead end. Avoid the buy button at all costs. The fun of slots is the journey to the bonus. If you aren't willing to wait for the scatters to land naturally, you're playing a game you can't afford. You might think the high-limit room is where the real winners are, but even the fancy hallway has its own set of traps for the unwary. 12. The high-limit hallway hindrance. There is a common belief that high-limit machines always have the best RTP. While it's true that higher denomination machines, like $5 or $25 spins, generally have a lower house edge than penny slots, that doesn't mean they are easier to win. Ex-casino hosts explain that the volatility in the high-limit room is extreme. The house knows that high rollers are more likely to chase their losses with even bigger bets. They might set a $100 spin machine to a 95% return, which sounds great, but a 5% loss on $100 happens much faster than a 15% loss on a penny. I've seen people lose $5,000 in the time it takes to drink a coffee in the high-limit lounge. The hindrance is that you have no room for error. If you don't hit a win early, your session is over before the cocktail waitress even returns. Only enter the high-limit room if you have a separate shot-taking budget that you are 100% comfortable losing in under 10 minutes. The math is better, but the swings are violent. Finally, we have to talk about the absolute worst machines on the planet. If you see a slot machine in an airport or a gas station, run the other way. 13. Airport and gas station grinders. These are the ultimate never-play machines. In the industry, we call this the desperation squeeze. When you're at a casino, the house has to compete with the casino next door, so they keep their RTPs somewhat reasonable. But at an airport or a convenience store, you are a captive audience. There is no competition. Ex-employees from these vendors reveal that the RTP at these locations is often set to the absolute legal minimum, sometimes as low as 75% or 80%. They know you're bored, you have a few minutes before your flight, and you have some loose vacation money left. These machines are programmed to take it all, and they take it fast. I once saw a man lose his last $50 at a Las Vegas airport gate while his family was boarding. It's a heartbreaking way to end a trip. Use airport slots for the spare change in your pocket if you just want to kill 3 minutes, but never use them as a place to actually gamble. Your odds are better playing a claw machine at a carnival. 14. The mindset shift and final checklist. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the barker traps at the entrance to the licensing tax on branded slots. But the most important thing an ex-employee can tell you isn't about a specific machine, it's about your mindset. The casino is designed to make you lose track of time, logic, and money. To beat the house, you have to stay disciplined.